still need to play a bigger role in achieving that objective. As a country, Kenya has not paid a lot of focus on identifying the gender-specific gaps in our policy frameworks. And I want to repeat this. As a country, Kenya has not paid much attention in trying to identify the gender-specific gaps in our policy frameworks. And below, I will briefly try to outline some of the things that may have escaped the attention of the policymakers and the lawmakers. According to the 2013 Millennium Goals Status Report for Kenya on Goal 3, gender equality and women empowerment has been in the Kenya's policy-making mainstream for a long time, which apparently has led to numerous policy initiatives, some of which we are aware. These include the Women Empowerment Fund and the 30% public procurement preference and reservations quota. But then, notably, the same report admits that Kenya, at 2013, was still faced with a wide gap between the genders, which gap the report associated to a strong paternal system amongst communities, as well as traditions and societal norms. But then the report fell short of trying to look at the policy frameworks from a gender perspective. And therefore, 11 years down the line, most of the outputs and outcomes that had been envisioned in that report are still not achieved, which is unfortunate, because we have gone through the first and second cycle of devolution. We are now in the third cycle of devolution. So we must ask ourselves, at what point did we drop the ball? We must also ask ourselves which aspects of the gender-based, gender-focused programming at both national and county level were maybe lost during the transition to devolution. Because that marked a very important juncture in our country, because that was when the governance was split to the two-tier. And therefore, in trying to trace where we dropped the ball, we should also be concerned about how do we get back on track and how do we recover the lost time. This has to be done through both policy and programmatic acceleration. We must be deliberate about this. The second aspect that I'm going to speak about, still touching on the policy frameworks, is that the sectoral policy and legislative analysis published by the Council of Governors and UNDP in April of 2015 mapped out the constitutional, legal, and policy frameworks that required priority attention within the devolution system and recommended specific review of policies and laws for each sector. Notably, this was to be the universal guide for fast-tracking harmonization of national level and county level legal and policy frameworks. Curiously to note, because I personally I've interacted with that particular analysis over several years. Curiously to note is that of the 11 broad gender areas, of the 11 broad policy and legal and legislative areas that were covered by that report, gender mainstreaming legal policy frameworks and women empowerment policy frameworks did not feature anywhere in the report. So we could arguably say that this may be the point at which the ball was dropped. But then this may not have been deliberate. this could have been inadvertent. So then we have to quickly look for mechanisms of picking up the ball again and then starting to make the gender conversation a mainstream conversation in government programming. The third perspective is this. The Kenya report to the people, published by USAID in 2015, covering health, population and nutrition, education and youth, democracy, governance and conflict, economic growth and agriculture, environment and natural resources. This report details the participation of communities in all the 5 key program areas. Notably, women get more adversely affected by the issues across all the 5 areas than men. And then this indicates that a gender-focused review of the program-based interventions in these areas would impact more positively on women. There is therefore need for joint efforts by the multi-sectoral actors within the governance, non-governmental development agencies, and civil society working in that space to make this a reality. The fourth perspective, which probably is what would help us unlock this whole thing. The Kenya Institute of Public Policy Research and Analysis Policy Monitor Issue 10, number 10 of 4, published in April of 2019, titled A Gendered Approach to Unlocking the Potential for Sustainable Development. This is so far, in my opinion, the most precise publication detailing the background issues and recommending precise corrective and progressive measures that need to be taken towards a gender-centric programming in governance. Why I say so is because this particular report gives the sectoral growth analysis in detail and goes further to break it down into gendered access to water and energy and its implications on household well-being, women and land ownership rights in Kenya, the status, the challenges, the opportunities for reform, challenges faced by women-owned enterprises, unlocking the potential for women and youth through agriculture or finance, among a raft of several other things. This, in my opinion, would form, and especially this goes to the policymakers and the policy influencers and the lawmakers. These would form a good reference point, especially for county governments that want to unlock this potential while securing the participation of women in the development space for both individual and collective growth. I'm done with the perspectives. So I hope that first gives us an idea about where could some of the bigger problems be lying. So it means some of these bigger problems with regard to gender mainstreaming and women empowerment and creating gender parity are stemming from systematic and systemic issues. And therefore, there needs to be keen attention to see how we can quickly and comprehensively address those aspects. Women in most parts of Kenya still do not enjoy land ownership rights and land inheritance rights to date, be they widows or daughters. And therefore, in the arithmetic of inheritance, most families do not consider that the daughters are equally deserving of land inheritance just like the sons. Many of our land owning tenure, you'll find that most families have still not done succession. And therefore, succession at family level disenfranchises widows more than the men, because then it becomes about the remaining men in the family to determine how much land she will get, because she is seen as a lesser inheritor of that land than her husband. So these are serious issues. But then why am I emphasizing on land ownership and land inheritance? Maybe we have never asked ourselves, why is land emotive in the first place? Because land is the biggest form of capital. Land is the biggest form of capital especially for sub-Saharan Africa. And therefore, if we are really looking at empowering women, we must be deliberate about helping them own land, either through purchase or inheritance or succession. There can be a raft of measures that policymakers and lawmakers and governments can be able to do. Some of these things include simple things like helping women access affidavits and helping them with the process of managing succession. But those are details that can be discussed in other fora. I could go on, and I would bore you definitely. So therefore, we need to come to the realization that all social and some of the economic policies, affect women more than men. Going forward, we must ensure meaningful participation and inputs of women in public policy development, and especially their participation during the public policy development cycle. So this again means we need to capacity build women and communities more to understand the public policy development cycle and be able to know at what stage they are able to participate, so that at that point they can be able to give their inputs. The ideal participation would be 50%. It ought to be higher in policies that are gender leaning or social. As we research and crowdsource for ideas during policy formulation, we must keep in mind that women stand to be impacted more by these policies, and therefore their inputs carry more weight, especially on issues that affect women more. In the ideal situation, at research level, at data collection level, we should pay attention to how many women respondents are we having, so that the gender is also equal in terms of the respondents, the data, sorry. We must stop then, going forward, we must also just stop looking at strategies that are proposed by government and development agencies just at face value. So we must also interrogate those strategies to see if they create new challenges that are based on gender. We must stop viewing women leadership and stewardship from the perspective of tokenism. It is not a favor to have a woman leader. You're not doing a woman a favor by allowing her to occupy a leadership space. So that needs to be understood very well. And especially among our gender as men, we tend to see it as tokens that we donate to women, and that should never be the case. I am sure every parent who has a daughter, both the parent and the daughter aspire for the daughter to occupy a big space. So then we need to start removing those stereotypes, and especially as the men, we need to be deliberate about enabling women to occupy big spaces. We must actually empower women to compete with us on an equal platform. And this will be achieved by leveling both the policy and programmatic playing field. And if possible, tilting it a bit so that we are able to uplift the women some more. This is in consideration of the fact that women work harder to climb the career ladder. For a woman to become an MD in a company, it takes double the effort that it would take a male colleague in the same company. It's because there are prejudices and misgony and a lot of gender profiling issues. For a woman to get a promotion in public or in private sector, the most likely question that everybody keeps asking is who is she sleeping with among the bosses. Because they don't think that you can actually grow career-wise just through your own merit. And therefore, we must reward women competency at the same level as male competency. And we must place women merit on the same scale as male merit. And then we must erode the stereotypes so that we build a more progressive and more prosperous society. And to give an example of Angela Merkel, I don't know how many of you have heard about Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel is actually by training a chemical scientist who became the German chancellor by accident. But then she is among the best rated leaders of the first world. She led the country through an era of uncharted economic distress into recovery and stability and thrive. As I conclude, I want to emphasize that we must allow, empower, and support our women to dream big and to aspire to occupy the big spaces, and we must keep recognizing that women are equal to the task. We must therefore keep asking ourselves the following 4 questions. How do we design public policies that are more gender sensitive, more gender inclusive, and more gender responsive? Number 2, we must become more intentional in securing and upscaling the gains made for women so far. Number 3, how do we enhance the participation of women in public policy formulation and policy influencing? Because this is critical. And finally, how do we use policy to unlock the gender demographic dividend towards a shared prosperity? Thank you for your attention. As I said, my name is Musyoki Kamongo. I work for an institution called Policy Oracle. Policy Oracle, at Policy Oracle, we deal with policy, governance, and strategy issues. We consult for government, for non-government development actors, and also for the private sector. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Musyoki. That was in-depth. Tumpigie makofi tena tafadhali. Someone help me call DJ Georges wherever he is. But before DJ Georges comes, Ann Samba, would you just come and say hello? This is a friend of mine for the last almost 10 or 11 years. She comes from Mombasa. She's one of the greatest vocalists I've seen around. Naomba useme tu neno moja and then isikuwe kwamba hatuja kutambua na you traveled all the way. Karibu.
Hello. As you have heard, my name is Ann Samba, or Shiny Ann. Mr. Edward has been my manager way back. He managed me when I was starting my music journey, and we have been so close. Right now, currently, I'm working at Kenya Air Force Band, and I've also worked with Maroon. So it's a privilege. Thank you, Mr. Edward.
Pia sisi tumefanya watu wakamake it. Msituone hivi hivi. Let's appreciate her again. Thank you. Machakos University, thank you so much for the partnership. I know you've had so much to say, but I know there's still so much to say. Bwana DVC, karibu sana. We are delighted to have you around. Let's appreciate the DVC. Ross Mutiso, please come, give us a number. Immediately after Ross, Bina Maseno, you'll be giving us your presentation, and then the woman rep representative, then the DVC will be closing the session. But before then, we have other partners that Georges, as you prepare very fast, Ross Mutiso, karibu. I was mentioning that we still had other partners like Pen Pal Traders. We have Mambo Coffee Lounge. We have Ngaf, of course, who are going to have time to speak. We have Zingatia Eden Farm, Gillian and Semara Hotels, the Wangondi Foundation, Inspire Hub, and Amigo Sounds had already spoken. So thank you so much for all the partners that have stood with us. Tunawashukuru sana. and you'll get time to say a word or two as we proceed. Karibu sana Rose Mutiso. God bless you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Rose Mutiso. I'm born again. I love the Lord. I want to appreciate Mary and Edward for the good work they are doing. Some of the things we are getting here, people pay to get that information. And so thank you so much. God bless you. All guests, invited guests, and friends. This is Rose Mutiso. I'm found on YouTube as Rose Mutiso and also on social media. I have many songs in Kikamba and Swahili. You can go to my YouTube channel. You'll be blessed. I'm going to do a song called Majira Mapya, just embracing positivity, and we know that there is God who answers our prayers.
Kumepambazuka ni majira mapya, chukua nafasi yako. Leo ni siku mpya, tusherehekee. Leo ni siku njema, tufurahie. Alifanya mambo mapya. Ametibu
Makofi kwake tafadhali. Makofi kwake, makofi mazuri. Shangwe na vigelegele kwa Yesu. Asante sana. Thank you so much, Rose Mutiso. That was a blessing. I'm being informed KDH 069 kindly pave way. KDH 069 kindly pave the way. Do we have the Kalokis in the house? Anne, Terry. It's as if they are not there. Allow me to also recognize the presence of the CEO, Jamhuri Kenya Awards. Jamhuri Kenya Awards is a platform that recognizes and awards women in different sectors. Babu, just come and wave. Maybe kuja tu tafadhali. You traveled all the way from Nairobi to come and see what the Machakos women are doing. And we appreciate you. We appreciate your efforts. We appreciate the fact that so many women have gone through your hands. You can just say hello peke yake. Karibu sana.
Habari za jioni. Mko wazima? Naitwa Babu Mtekova. Mimi ndio the founder Jamhuri Kenya Awards na Miss Independent Kenya Beauty Pageant. Nimeshukuru kuwa hapa, nimejifunza, and I know that kama tunaweza tukatilia manani, we can go far. Si ni kweli? Asanteni sana na muendelee hivyo hivyo.
Thank you so much. You had a team that you came with? Okay. I'm told some of them have already left, but karibuni sana to Machakos. We love visitors, and we hope we can also get some women from Machakos nominated in your awards this year, so that we may be able to celebrate the woman from Machakos. Asante sana. Without further ado, I want to introduce one, Bina Maseno. Please allow me to read a bit of her profile. Bina Maseno is an experienced gender governance and development specialist, skilled in gender inclusivity and mainstreaming in political and governance processes, program management, young women and grassroots women leadership, and advocating for an end to all forms of gender-based violence. She is the founder and executive director at Badili Africa, having vied for member of County Assembly office during the 2013 general election as a 22-year-old young woman, and her experiences and challenges led to the founding of Badili Africa. Bina advocates for women involvement in politics, leadership and governance, actively engaging in broader governance discussions as a proactive citizen. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Bina Maseno. Check.
Good afternoon, everyone. Habari afternoon. You know, it's always very tricky speaking in the afternoon, Sendio. But I'll make my conversation not too long, because another thing I know is there's been so much tumesikiza kutoka asubuhi, sio? So, I first of all want us to appreciate the organizers of this event. Please, let's appreciate them. You know, an event like this gives you sleepless nights. You know, I work in the community. Even a small event gives you sleepless nights. And to even attract the caliber of the leaders who've traveled far and wide to be here. So congratulations to Tuboreshe and even the partners who've partnered with them and who believe in them. So that said, kwa majina naitwa Bina Maseno, Executive Director Badili Africa, former journalist in K24 and reporter, and also former political aspirant. I always like to say, I ran for office, si ati nilianguka, ni kura zikutosha, si ndio? Mnajua kura zisipotosha huwezi kuwa winner, sio? So I ran for office, lakini kura zangu hazikutosha. right? So I love what the previous speaker was speaking about. Is it Mesh? Is he here? Please let's appreciate him in absentia, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why we need to appreciate him, and I know for most of us, your conversation, your policy, ni nzito sana. But let me tell you why that is important. Who knows the median age in Africa ni ngapi? Median age. If you get it right, uko na airtime ya saa mbili. But lazima uwe youth ukisema. Who knows the median age? And don't Google. Who knows the median age in Africa? What's the median age? Iko between 18 and 24. But just tell me a figure. Between 18 and 24. Who knows the median age in Africa? Ngapi? The median age in Africa is what? No, it's not 21. What's the median age in Africa? It's not 22. What's the median age in Africa? Hakuna mtu anataka hata do, hapa hata airtime. Kama unataka inua mkono, what's the median age? Some nasema kaa group na mimi sina pesa ya kila mtu. What's the median age? No, it's not 18. What's the median age? Last one now. What's the median age? It's not 20. The median age in Africa is 19. Imagine. The median age in Africa is 19. What's the median age of a politician in Africa? Median age of a politician in Africa. I want you to see the disconnect and the crisis we are in when you talk about leadership and even relatability. What's the median age of a politician in Africa? Huh? 60? Caribbean. What's the median age of a politician in Africa? Median age. Hey, akishwali. Huh? Acha niuliza hapa mbele basi wageni wangu. What's the median age of a politician in Africa? Okay, wacha niuliza academia. The median age. Huh? Surely mtu amesema unlimited. Surely. The median age of a politician in Africa is 63. What is 63 minus 19? When you mko shule bana mmeza form 4. Well, what's the math? 44. Why is this data important? It's because, you know, many a times when we talk about leadership and when we talk about politics, everyone feels like, ay, apana, iyo hainihusu, siasa hainihusu, leadership labda baadaye, I'm going to lead later, let me do what I need to do right now. The median age of a young person in Africa is 19. The median age of a politician is 63. The politician or the leader who's 63, the choices they make, the decisions they make, as a young person, you're going to live longer with the consequences of those decisions. That is what it means. It's that if you make a wrong decision about climate change right now and you're 70, you as a young person who's 20, you have 50 years to live with those consequences before you get to 70. All factors constant if you don't die. That is what it means. And even as I talk about this, what we're experiencing right now kwa hii inchi is a crisis of leadership. And I want us to stand up and observe a moment of silence for the victims who've died because of the floods. Because that is a crisis in leadership. Just to observe a moment of silence for the victims who've died, even as we are here. A moment of silence for the victims who've died because of the floods. Thank you very much. You know, the first time I began seeing what's happening with the floods, I didn't even think it would get to where it is right now. We've had warnings before, but even with that, we still couldn't plan better. And even as you observe what is happening, when families are mourning their loved ones, it is also the fact that look at all the water that we've not even harvested, clean water that we've not even harvested. When some of us come from counties and from homes where we don't even have water in our taps. We don't have water in our taps, but water outside our homes is actually killing people. As someone who's also a farmer in my other life, I cannot tell you the destruction of crops in this season. In fact, I was telling Tevin, my colleague, to share some of the videos we took from a place we visited last week. Shamba yote. Yani, tulikuwa tunatembea hivi, maji unatembea hivi, shamba ya mtu hata hajavuna hata kitu yoyote. Floods. All the food gone. In a country where people starve. In a country where you're not supposed to die of hunger. How many of us know about Article 43? If you don't know any article in the Constitution, please know about Article 43. Anyone who knows Article 43 nasema nini? Article 43. Kuna kazi. If the median age is 19 and you are the leaders of today, kuna kazi. Article 43 talks about your social rights. Your right to food. Your right to education. Your right to good health. Your right to good sanitation. That is Article 43. How can you fight for what you don't know? How can you sue your leader for a right you don't understand? That actually it belongs to you. How will you fight and protect human rights? Zenye hauelewi ni gani? How? You're not supposed to starve. No, you're not supposed to. And for me, I began my leadership journey way back. But at 22, I decided to vie for the MCA seat. I had just joined campus, year 1. And I had been given a scholarship. And that was one of the most scariest decisions I made, looking back, to run for office at 22. Because it had taken me a whole year and a half kutafuta scholarship, to mobilize resources. Took me a whole year and a half before I got people to support my education. And then now I have gotten people to support my education in campus. Siasa imechacha ya 2013. I'm like, apana, I cannot be a spectator. I cannot be a spectator in my community. And most of us are just spectators. Most of us don't even know the real challenges plaguing your community. You don't even know how many people are dying of cancer in your ward. Even our leaders don't. People are dying in their homes. We have no idea about the situation of the people we are leading, especially women and girls. In this country, I'll ask one last question, because I said I don't want to take a lot of time here. How many people know how many women were elected as MCA below 35? We have only 14 young women in this country who are below 35 in the MCA seat. 14. Yet the MCA seat has 1,450 seats. We only have 14 elected MCAs who are young women. The quest to have women in leadership. Kenya, is very strategic in Africa. Like many countries look up to us kwa sababu ya uongozi wetu. They look up to us. Yet in East Africa, we are lagging behind when it comes to women leadership. Because now when you look at women, wako 24%. Minimum ni 30%. We are striving to get to 50%. Yet Kenya is a regional hub that people look up to. But we are still struggling. Even Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda wametupita. Of course, Rwanda is leading at 62. Why is this a problem? It's a problem because when you talk about gender-based violence, in affect nani sana? When you talk about FGM, in affect nani? When you talk about human and child trafficking, in affect nani sana? When you talk about teenage pregnancies, in affect nani sana? We spoke about emotional violence and mental health, in affect nani sana? Yet we are not in leadership. Diversity. Yet we are not in leadership. 24%. and less than 1% for young women. So at 22, I decided to run for office. And immediately, nominations ilipita, and my name was now on the ballot. I lost my scholarship. Because the people who supported knew I'm not serious. How can you be serious when you come from a very poor family? You've been tamarking. In fact, I remember one of the people who supported me through and through. The first time I met them in an office in town, I had slippers. Nilikuwa na slippers in town. And, and they remind me till today that, Bina, you should never forget where you've come from. You should never forget where God has gotten you from. If ever, remember I met you in town with slippers, knocking doors because of your education. Then I got into politics because I was so tired of seeing women like my mom wenye wanafua nguo ndio wasomeshe watoto. I was so tired of seeing the hopelessness amongst my friends. As I stand here, I have lost 4 friends to crime. 4 to crime. 2 of my security guards during elections, my friends, were killed during the election. And that's the day I was stripped in a political campaign because I did not have security. I could not afford security. And my friends walijitolea kunichunga because hawana kazi, wako home. My boys wako home, wako kwa mtaa, wanachana. They have nowhere to go even after finishing school. And they said, Bina, we may not have money to put in your campaign, but we can give you security. And one morning, I wake up, it's 5 o'clock, my boys hawaja come home. Because sikuwa na do ya kucampaign. What I used to do was, I used to target. Me, I didn't have a car to campaign with, So what I used to do, I used to wake up at 4, na target wale watu wanaenda kwa soko. By 5, niko kwa stage. Wale watu wanaenda kazi, the guys who are going to industrial area, the guys who are going to Marikiti, Gikomba, I talk to them, naongea nao. We used to split my team. By 5, everyone, we've split to different stages. Because me, I don't have time. I don't have money for someone to panga wa mama for me nikuje kuongea nao baadaye. So by 5, we start up to 8. Then we go back home. We take breakfast. Then from breakfast, tunapumzika kidogo, then we start doing door to door. I used to do that every day because I knew if I don't become MCA, I don't know where I will start because I've already lost my scholarship anyway. So the stakes were very high for me. The next thing was my parents, my dad and my mom. We go to a local church. I used to live with my parents. So now, because niko kwa siasa, my parents, even sadaka sasa is being scrutinized. Siku za mchango wasipotoa do, people are like, sasa wazazi wa mheshimiwa hawezi toa pesa. My parents stopped going to church. Because the pressure is too high, even how you're dressing. Because huwezi kuwa mama ya mheshimiwa unafunga leso, uko na nguo imezeeka. Guys are thinking, how can you be a mheshimiwa moving around like this and your mother is dressing like this? So my mom stopped going to church. My dad stopped going to church. My brother stopped going to church. So I had to win. I had to win the seat. The stakes are high. I've lost my scholarship as well. So another thing, I'm like, the hardest electorate for me to navigate was the older people in the community. Because they would tell me, Bina, you have very good ideas, ya wamama na vijana, but ideas zako za wazee ni gani? Wababa walikuwa wananiambia ideas zako ni gani? Because this community is just not made up of women and youth. What are your ideas for men? You see? And you're being asked, ukiwa umesimama tu hivi, yani, people are seated like this and they're asking you and they expect an answer. Because I used to also go to men chamas and I used to go to meet the landlords. And sadly, in our communities, landlords are usually mainly men. So when I used to think about what I'm going through, every day I used to ask myself, if I don't win this seat, nitajificha wapi? I didn't even have time to mourn my friends, my 2 friends. I did not even know they were in crime. I was called later, nikaambiwa mheshimiwa, one of your security people was gunned down. Mwingine alikuwa mob justice. And the one for mob justice was worse. Because venye alikuwa amechapwa, alikuwa meat everywhere. Tulimtambua na hii kidole ya mguu, hiyo kubwa peke yake. Meat everywhere. Mob justice. So propaganda spreads in the community. Bina is walking around with thugs. I'm walking around with thieves. But these are my friends. Nilisoma nao shule. Nilisoma nao primary school because I schooled in Kayole. For those ones who know Kayole, the informal settlement. Nilisoma nao shule. How can they be called thugs? You know. So for me, the fact that I didn't even have time to mourn my friends, and I kept on saying, you know what, after the campaign, I'm going to mourn my friends. Then come election day, let me just cut the story short. Come election day and the room is full like this. In fact, if any of you mshakwa kwa polling station, inakwanga imejaa because agents, supporters for every candidate are there. Imejaa kuja. And I'm there, guys are sweating, but for me, I'm feeling cold. Because this is the day that is going to determine my future. This is the day. I'm thinking about my mom, venye watu kwa kibanda yake hata walipi pesa kwa sababu mtoto wake kwa siasa. Mtu ananunua kwa like, sasa mia ni pesa ya kuniitisha Mama Bina. Mtu alipi deni, surely. Because they are thinking, mheshimiwa ako na do. Why are you asking me for 100? So people are not paying my mother kwa kibanda yake ya mboga. So she's incurring losses because of her daughter. And her social life has stopped. She can't go to chamas kama ana pesa because utakujaji kwa chama bila pesa, useme hauna pesa ya kulipa na mtoto wako kwa siasa, your child is on the ballot. How? You know? So the stakes are high as I'm in the polling station. They start counting the votes and I'm just like, God, Akimi, I have lived for you. Do not abandon me today. And then I usually have a very funny prayer. Sometimes when I'm in stress, Nambia God, Aki God, if you think Peter, John, and James served you, nisaidie tu hii uone. Nisaidie. If you think Peter, John, and James served you, nitoe tu kwa hii shida uone. Unione mimi kama sita Peter, John, and James. You try me in this one, God. You know, I'm almost trying to bribe God, you know. The elections, the results. I won in a polling station around my home. The other one was average. And then it trickles in and I've not won. And I didn't have the energy to go home. Guys were congratulating me. They said, you know, Bina, kukua number 3 out of 12 and you're 22. But siasa inanga number 2. People in politics know siasa inanga number 2. Hata kama ulishindwa na kura moja. Siasa inanga number 2. And I'm there thinking, dear God, where do I start? After tammacking for 1.5 years, where do I start? So I go home, I fall into depression. I'm not eating, I wake up, cry, because I felt like even my neighbors betrayed me. Because you know wakati wa siasa mtu anasema, Bina hata tumeamua ni mrembo, tushaamua. Hii mtaa wameamua, this time round tunapatia mrembo. My friends, I felt so betrayed. I felt betrayed by my church, because I'm like, surely, hata kura za kanisa yangu pekee zingenisimamisha kwa MCA. Unajua, surely, kanisa yangu tu ingenisimamisha kwa MCA. So I felt so betrayed by my church. So I'm not going to church. I'm not picking up my friends' calls. And I'm not eating. So my mom is looking at her only daughter deteriorating day in, day out. I go to 47 kgs. I'm not eating. You can see, like my dad would look at me here and be like, surely, Bina, you cannot mourn your loss like this. I'm like, Dad, where do I start? Where? You don't have money to take me to school. You didn't even have enough money to educate me in primary school and to educate me in high school. So I received a call one day from my mentor. And he's like, Bina, can we meet? And I said, I don't want to meet. Mimi sitaki kukutana na wewe. And he's like, Bina, we have to meet. I say, I don't want to meet you. I have not been meeting anyone. But I decide to gather myself. And I go and I meet my mentor. This was Pastor Gowi. And he asks, what is it that you wanted to do in politics? Enya huwezi fanya. And I'm like, there's so many things I wanted to do. I start crying. I start telling him, I wanted to do this. You know, even my friends are jobless. I have even not mourned. I start crying. So we put a list down. We start looking at, okay, what change do I want to see in my community? Not even in my country, in my community. And he says, okay, can we narrow it down to 3 things? Then we see. And that sparked something in me. And that day I realized that you don't have to be a politician to effect change in our communities. It was a light bulb moment for me. Because even politicians alone cannot finish our problems. Imagine a ward alone, a constituency has over 100,000 people. A constituency. and I'm not even talking about a county, how is one woman rep supposed to handle over 500,000 people? Nairobi has 4 million people. How can you put the burden of 4 million people on one leader? We must work together. And thinking about my community, Badili Africa was born. We started working with women in chamas. We started working with young women in universities. We started working with young women in their communities. We started talking about gender-based violence, about leadership, and leading not just in politics, that even chama women can vie for Nyumba Kumi. Because Nyumba Kumi leader can be also the reason why your case for GBV itafika kwa chief ama haitafika. Leadership is local. Because these cases inafikia chief, before hata ifikie MCA, before ifikie polisi. Your chief will tell you, Nyumba Kumi wako ni nani? But sadly, even for us young people here who have time, you know your mother or your father maybe doesn't have time. You don't even know who your Nyumba Kumi person is. If you do, please lift up your hand. If you know your Nyumba Kumi leader, please lift up your hand. I have a gift for you. I've seen 3. Please, Tevin, mark those 3 for me. There are 3. You don't know who your Nyumba Kumi is. You don't know who your chief is. How are you supposed to help with solution about security in your ward if you don't engage? If you're not coming up with innovations of how even people in your ward can utilize Facebook, even forming a Facebook group for your ward because you're very fluent on social media, so that people in your ward can chip in and your leaders can see what's happening. So that even if you don't go there physically, how can you be part of the solution? Because most of us spend time feeling depressed because of other people's lives on social media. But then you, how are you thinking about your own life? Maisha yako. Many of us will never get a platform like this to stand here and talk about our leadership and our life and everything. But this is not where leadership is. Leadership is when no one is watching you, when no one is looking at you. Most of us want just pictures with celebrities. Take anything from them. We don't learn anything from them. Even the social media, you're putting bundles and you're not learning anything from them. You're not building your skill. You're not learning any new language. The other day, my brother alikosa kazi hapa Kenya. Akaenda Qatar. And he's coming back because he wants to do something here. And one day nikamuuliza, unatokanga kazi 4. You have time between 4 till 9. What are you doing with your extra time? That's my younger brother. You're in a country where Arabic is the language of the day. You're struggling with Arabic. We have platforms and softwares where you can even learn a new language. And you're not utilizing that. At Badili Africa, we receive CVs every day, Zakazi. And sometimes, the reason you choose someone is because they have something kidogo to over the other person. Sometimes, it's that language that is the differentiating factor. Last week, but one, we advertised for a finance officer. Last week, but one. A finance officer. And we don't advertise beyond 5 days. By day 4, we were at 1,257 CVs for one position. 1,257. And you're supposed to select only one person. How are you going to select that person? If it's just that extra thing that they are bringing, that extra thing they did after Maliza Shule, that extra thing. What's your extra thing? And as I finish, I just want to tell you that small thing I began doing at the community level, that small thing that I began doing at Kayole is what has made me travel the world. Some of you just learn from celebrities. You can learn from your neighbor. Beshtia mama yako. You know, undermine community knowledge a lot. You just want to learn from celebrities. There are people around you. The microphone. There are people around you who have so much knowledge that can benefit you. But you're always waiting for the correct time. There are so many people. But you don't take time to learn from them and to apply that. I was in a meeting like this when I met someone, and I didn't even know who they were. And when we were interacting, I'm audible here. You can hear me. Can I tuck it? So I was in a meeting like this. And I remember I was talking to someone about what I do. You have to get good. Lazima ujitambue. Ujue unafanya nini. Jitambue, jijue kwanza. Know your triggers. Know your fears before you can overcome them. Spend time with yourself. You know, we live in an era where people don't want to spend time with themselves. People don't know how to sit down with boredom. And you not knowing how to sit down with boredom is the reason sometimes you make the wrong choices. You don't have to be out like everyone else. You can be different. You need to learn. I have learned to sit down with my boredom when I'm bored. I have learned to sit down with my loneliness. I don't have to be in a relationship all the time to belong. I have learned to own loneliness. And some of us are where we are at because we could not manage loneliness, because we could not manage boredom. And we made the decisions we made because we could not manage our own company. And we are where we are at, and you are wondering, how did I end up kwa beshte huyu mse? How did I end up with this man, with this woman? How did I end up in this space? How did I start drinking? How did I start sleeping around? How did I start smoking? Because you could not manage your own company. Learn to sit down with yourself. It is fine. I tell people, make the hard decisions now so you can make easier ones later. Make the hard choices now. There's nothing as sad as making a hard choice when you're 40 and you have no time. Your body is caving in because of the decisions you made in your 20s. Your life, you're not sure what you want to do with your career. You have children who are depending on you. You see, so make the hard decisions now so you can make easier decisions later. I met someone in a forum like this, and we undermine mentorship a lot. You know, we have a profile of a mentor. And let me tell you what happened. They listened to what I said I'm doing, and they told me they're just a consultant, and they left. I didn't even know who they were because I didn't even focus kabisa. But when they left, next year in April, after I met them, I like telling this story to encourage you. I got an email. So I received this email that is inviting me to the US to speak in a forum where Barack Obama is speaking and where Melinda Gates is moderating. Hi, I'm like, yani leo nimefikiwa na scammers. Yeah? Nimefikiwa leo. Con men wamenipata kwa email yangu private. Con men have found me. So I don't respond. Because I'm like, me in Kayole, running an organization that is so small, I don't even have a platform. What am I going to say in a platform where Obama is speaking, where I'm being invited as a speaker? What am I going to tell Melinda Gates? Because she's the one moderating that forum. What am I going to say to Bill Gates? So I don't respond. Again in June, the same prompt. So in July, this woman I met in a forum like this, you know, take seriously the people you meet. Don't just wait to meet people with titles and selfies, and then after selfies, that's it. You know. And you just want to tag people. Uko na jina social media, but una struggle. Sikuwa hivyo. Una jina pale, una struggle. Followers pale, but una struggle. You look successful online, but you're actually struggling. It's okay to not be okay now so that you can be okay later. You see? So it's fine to own where you are and realize, niko hapa. So what do I do to move to point B? Who do I need to be? Who do I need to know? What choices do I need to make? And she tells me, I met you in this forum, Bina, and I was in a think tank where the Gates Foundation are looking for leaders in Africa who they need to shine a spotlight on that people do not know about. And I mentioned you because of what you do in your ward, in your community. That small thing that you're doing. Don't wait to be called to TV interviews to feel important. No. That one life enye unaguza, one life is one too many. 2 lives, way too many. Don't wait to fill a room like this to feel like you're important. Those 5 lives are important. And I traveled to the US for the first time after I had tried to go as a student, I think over 3 times, and I gave up. And I was so amazed at what God can do that I was in a room before I went on stage with people I've just written down on my journal. There's no one that I didn't see in that room. And I'm telling you, I just kept on telling God, Now to you who can do exceedingly more than all I can ever ask or imagine. Barack Obama was there. Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, was there. Melinda Gates were there. I even took a selfie to confirm it's Melinda Gates because I'm like, I was just behind. And I don't like doing this with celebrities because I'm like, you know what, God, I don't know why you have me in this room. So let me not lose my cool because they get a lot of that. But I was just like, can I take a selfie? He says, yeah, sure, let's take a selfie. You know, niko tu naiangalia naenda pale social media na kama ni yeye. Unajua uko na yeye but unataka confirm kama ni yeye. You see. But it was amazing to see what God can do and use us when we are young. And not wait to use us later in life. So take charge of your life. Know what you're doing is important. Every choice you make right now adds to another. And lastly, where you are in your ward. This is my last example. While in campus in USIU, I used to live in some dingy place. When I say dingy, niko zinatoka Kayole, so ni place yenye ningeweza ku afford. But one day, the landlord aliongeza rent na 3,000. One day. And you know, because it's an area where hata ukihama, they get someone else, they don't care. They don't have to give a reason. So they do that and they just wakasleep hiyo karatasi hapo chini. So I come home, nashindwa sasa akishuali 3,000 tenant atoa wapi. So I'm already stressed. I go to my neighbor Seko. I'm like, Niaji, have you received this? Akasema sawa. I'm like, what do we do? So he says, ama tuhame. I'm like, atuashinda kama tunahama. We need to ask him mbona mongeza rent, ajatupakia, you know, ajapaka nini, ajapaka anything kwa ukuta. Why have they done that? Right? And we decided we're going to start knocking everyone's door to ask them whether they are comfortable with that increase. And this is my last example. And it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable, imagine, to knock everyone's door to ask them, Niaji, nimeona tumeongezewa rent. Uko comfortable? Kama uko comfortable, just write here. They write. Niaji, are you comfortable with this? They write. Niaji, at the end of the day, 4th floor, yote, we had people's names down. We had people's names down. Then now, I called the landlord and I said, we've seen you've increased even Ivy and we're not sure why. I was wondering whether you can give us an explanation. First thing was, when in nani, if you're not comfortable unaweza hama. I said, sio mi peke yangu, it's actually everyone. Kusikia hivyo akashtuka. Akasema tukutane Sunday. Sunday saa ngapi? Saa moja before ende kanisa. And you know, there's nothing as bad as waking up young people on Sunday when they have hangover. Si mnajijua? You know that. So inamaanisha lazima uanze kuamsha watu 6. It was hard, but we got everyone there. And by 7, the guy was there. And he had no reason why he had done that. But because of those small actions, that 3K was waived. What is 3,000 times 12? It's 48. So those little actions have saved someone else 48,000 a year. That's why I'm saying, don't wait for platforms like this to make a difference. That example, no one knows about it. I didn't even talk about it. I didn't even tweet about it. I didn't even post it on social media. Because change is what you do when no one is watching you. That is what changes, what you believe in. The human rights you believe in. That is what that is. So I want to leave you with this final saying that says, the most important office. I say this everywhere. The most important office is not the office of the president, the office of the woman rep, governor, or member of county assembly. The most important office is the office of the citizen. Occupy your office.
Are you excited about that? Are you loving it? I want to mention something about the importance of relationships. I knew Bina 10 years ago. Both of us were in Kayole. I hope you are connecting dots. I knew Bina 10 years ago, and both of us were struggling in Kayole. Ngoja hapo kwa vote, tulia kwanza. But there's something Bina did to me that she never knew and she never remembered. I reminded her a week ago. I was supposed to be traveling to Tanzania. My first ever trip outside Kenya. So, nimefika mahali niko mwisho. Niko na ticket. But pesa to 1,200 hapa kunipeleka Lamu. By that time, I didn't have. So nikaangalia phone book yangu yote. I know young people can resonate with this. Sometimes you scroll that phone, you are scrolling mpaka upati mtu anaweza kupea hata 50 shillings. My comrades can understand this. So I call Bina and I'm asking, Bina, sasa, you know, and Bina knew why I was traveling. And she was actually in the team, yeah, what was supposed to precede the activity I was traveling to Tanzania to do. So, nimepigia hao wengine wote, a lineup of 12 of them. Kila msee anakuambia manze Z. I call Bina, and Bina tells me, send me your M-Pesa number. And that same, as in she didn't even ask me questions, nini. She sent that 1,200 plus an extra cash, akasema na upate maji ya kwa barabara. The same Bina, we met last week and we were now signing an agreement. She has come to sponsor an activity we are doing in Machakos, actually in Machakos University. A relationship of how many years? About 10 years. You never know the kind of relationships you pick. I knew Bina through a friend of mine mwenye nilidhania ndiye angenisaidia. Na huyo hakuwahi nisaidia. Ule Bina mwenye sikuwahi jua anaweza saidia, ndiye alisaidia. And that time she was a hustler at K24. And when I talk about hustling, najua you are reporting hakuna kakitu, but you have to go to work, you have to maintain the standard. Wewe ni reporter, wewe ni news anchor wa K24. And that is Bina for you. The same period after that, that is when I met Mary. 10 years, a relationship of 10 years. That is the same time I met this lady mwenye amesema Shining. Around the same, a relationship of 10 years. Selina, who's seated here, mheshimiwa, I always say she's a family. I was part of her campaigns, but she'll call me saa 6 ya usiku and I'll pick. Actually, she always says, kama kuna mtu naweza pigia, na ninajua hata saa 8 ya usiku nitampigia na atashika simu, ni Edward. How many years down the line? And that relationship is being maintained. I was supporting her campaigns. Today she has come to sponsor an event that we are having today. The mheshimiwa who's seated here, I knew her around 8 years ago. And when she saw the poster ya hii event, she calls me. She's like, Edward, we've moved with you for 8 years. I must come to support that event. Today she's seated here. And many other people. What am I saying? The power of relationships. Mesh nikimjua, the one that was speaking here, he may never remember. When I came to Machakos, I was staying in Kademboni. Oh, good, you know. And there's a time he dropped me in Kademboni. And there's a day I'm calling Mesh. I have twins. And I'm calling Mesh, I'm telling Mesh, venye kuko saa hii, hawa ma twins watalala na strong tea. Mesh sent me 1,200 shillings. And I never knew Mesh knew Mary. So, wakati Mary has posted this event, Mesh reaches out to Mary and he says, I want to come and give a maiden speech. I want to come and give a maiden speech. If at all singekuwa nili-maintain the relationship I had with Mesh, I don't know. If at all I had not maintained the relationship I had with Bina, I didn't know Bina knew Mary. So actually, for us to sign the agreement we signed the other day, it was Mary who brought Bina. Only for us to meet and Bina is like, aya, uko hapa. Anyway, the office of the woman representative Machakos County. Tumpigie makofi. That is our second last speaker. Then the DVC will be speaking and we will call it a day. Karibu sana. Just a few minutes and we can call it a day.
Habari zenyu? Habari zenyu? Hebu msimame mufanye tu hivi because I know you are tired. I'll be very, very brief. So that we finish. Na kindly tutulie. I think this is the most important time of the day when we listen to our leaders. My name is Faith Ndunge, mkaaji wa Machakos, a youth supporter. Nimetumwa na Mheshimiwa Kamene. Mmepokea salamu zake. Currently they are doing something we call sensitization and public participation about the bill, corporate bills. Wanataka kubadilisha. Hata nyinyi muingie kwa hizo cooperatives so that musaidike. Currently wako Kirinyaga. She would have loved to be with you. I'll be very, very brief. Sitaki kuwapotezea wakati because Mesh Musyoki summarized almost everything we would have loved to talk about. Mesh, I salute you. Being a man and really talking passionately about women issues, I think that is the best way to go. And I think if we got around 5 meshes like you, everything would be okay. I loved your zeal. You are a young person and you are the one who is going to be the trade setter. Bina, you are such an amazing girl. I could listen to Bina. Situngemsikiza mpaka kesho without getting bored. I've loved the way you can talk, the way you can articulate matters, and the way you can flow with the crowd. That is very good. Me, apart from being Mheshimiwa Kamenes once in a while, mtu wake wa mkono, I work as a presenter na Mutongo TV. Niko na ile program ya Tune na Nye where we talk about issues about girls, men, women, gender violence, vitu vyote kukurukakaras. Let me be very, very brief and read Mheshimiwa Kamenes' speech. I salute you, the youth of Kenya today. You are the future. And I'm proud of you. I appreciate Tuboreshe Pamoja Foundation for the good work their CEO, Madam Mutula, formerly the president of Machakos University, for bringing the various organizations on board. Let's appreciate that girl. Ako happy? Mary Mutula tunaku appreciate na uko happy. Anyway, I know she's very busy. And even different dynamics of organization exhibited there. You can see. Kuna watu utawaambia wakuitie, hata watu watatu hawezi kuja. Thank you so much, Mary Mutula, for bringing all this. That is Mheshimiwa Kamene. Thanks for the various organizations that have taken it up to themselves to reach unto the Machakos youth with your corporations and even incorporating the women's office. And through that, you make even their work a little bit easier and progressive. Mama Cares. I'll briefly give some of the goodies, mamas, for you. First and foremost, she has said, due to the rains, we be careful. It's something that is being repeated every now and again, lakini as the mama, she needs you 2027, mpatie kura. Kwa hivyo, make sure you are alive. Mpande miti. Because now, as Bina said, miti, all the vegetations imeisha. Lakini ukipanda mti, using your age. Kama you are 22 years, tafadhali, panda 22 trees. Ukifikisha 23, panda 23. Now, what mama has done? Amesema, she's going to organize about distribution of sanitary towels. We've realized our girls missed going to school kwa sababu ya that 1 week. And there's nothing as disgraceful. There's nothing as yani ile inasumbua mwanamke. Even sisi, mali hata tumezeeka. When you are on that particular date of your month, ukitembea huwa unaangalia hivi. Si mnajua? Check. Si ndio? Not because you are not careful, but you know how indignifying it can be. So she has said, very soon, this is just a sample of what she'll be giving you. Secondly, in partnership with some organizations, an NGO, they'll be training you. What you just need to do is to go to the office and register. Musianze kusema ati there is this that is supposed to be done, kuna ile injafanyika, na you are not doing it. Kindly go to the office, get yourself registered so that you can be incorporated in partnership with that particular NGO. Mama, of course, will let you know. And I'm sure it's not only one NGO, several others. Thirdly, youth to unite. There is a lot that has been brought on board for the youth, but you cannot benefit ukiwa peke yako. Make sure you are in a group, be it 5, 10, 20, but of course, she has made it a limit of 50 youth. Mukutane, you register so that you can be recognized by the government that we've got around 50 groups, 500 youths mahali, so that musaidike. You cannot, hawezi kasaidika ukiwa peke yako. So unite. And through those groups, that is now when you identify so and so is good at this, so and so is good at that, and so is good at this. Because you are munajuana. Kuna mtu amesoma, could be amefanya tu plumbing, but given a chance, this person can proceed hata mpaka afikie university level. That, but not least, if you've got questions and you need to ask, go to the right people. We've realized our youths are always complaining. Hey, tusionangi mheshimiwa, na kesho unaulizwa na usha tafuta forum ya kuambia mheshimiwa, unaona mtu anangevya. Anaanza kukwambia lakini sasa nitampata wapi? There are people who are ready to listen. Go to that office. Hiyo ofisi ni yako. Ni wewe umeandika mheshimiwa Kamene. Ni wewe umeandika governor wa Vinya. And I thank God that we have women leadership in Machakos. Ni wewe umeandika Kavindu. When they are not doing what is supposed to be done, talk to them as the youth of Machakos, and it will be okay. Last but not least, kuna hizi sanitary towels. We cannot give all of you. But amongst you, si tunajijua. Kuna mtu akona accident mahali. Our girl will assist you in giving you. I'm requesting my sister, Mary Mutula, kindly come. Na wale walikuwa nasaidiana. Mesha will appreciate your presence. Bina, Serena, Selina, our Vice Chancellor. Jerita. This is all about women. Yes, anybody can hold, kindly. All the institutions that have been presented here today, kindly kujeni, tushike. And the reason why we are talking about sanitary towels, because this is where life begins. Sindio? When you see a sanitary towel, respect it. This is where life starts. And if you don't take care of it, you are doomed. Shikeni at least so that we can all be in solidarity to show that alaika kujeni. Kujeni, hata kama alaika yuko mtu mmoja kuje. Yes. Yes, from women, I would believe in people living with disability, PWDs, Jerita is here presenting all of us. I thank you all. This is a representation of what government of Machakos is doing in collaboration with the Office of the Governor, in cooperation with Women's Rep, come sweetheart, with the Office of Women's Rep. We respect what Mutula has done. And I'm saying a sanitary towel should be respected. I've just said a sanitary towel is the beginning of life. Through Mheshimiwa Kamene, she's realized that girls are suffering. Finally, the girls, unfortunately, who got babies during this time of corona, because we understand most of our girls, some of our girls, not most, some of our girls, akijaribu tu, ama akidanganywa, na check, akapata mtoto. Tell your sisters to go to the office of the women rep. She's got a provision for you. She's taking those children back to school. Ebu msalimieni na makofi. You will be taken back to school. Don't have an excuse. Don't have a reason of not going back to school because you have a child. Wetafuta mtu akae na mtoto wako uende shule. Luckily, amesema sana sana utasomea in the nearby day school. And she'll even take care of that. Isn't that amazing? Thank you so much. God bless you. Nita andonge mwetu mweye newe tonena nye.
Thank you. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. That is the office of our woman rep. DJ tafadhali. This event was sponsored or was supported by One Woodnock Green, the guys who did our setup. Thank you so much. Arizona International College and Kamba TV, thank you for giving us live coverage for that long. Lagape Consultancy, asante sana. Sorted Kitchen, asante kwa maji, some food. KYPA, asante. Machakos University, thank you so much. Amigo Sounds, thank you so much. DJ Georges, thank you so much. Kenya Red Cross, asante. Shofco, asante. Inspire Hub, asante. Wangondi Foundation, asante. Deaf Empowerment Kenya, asante. LOM Technology, asante. Peter Uplift, asante. Mukange CBO, asante. Jillian Hotel and Semara Hotels, thank you so much. Kati and Kata, asante sana. Jiwakilishe CBO, asante sana. Zingatia Eden Farm, thank you. Fresh Drops Water, thank you. The Alaika Group, asante sana. Badili Africa, thank you so much. Penpal Traders, thank you so much. Mambo Coffee Launch, thank you so much. And of course, the Office of the Woman Representative, Machakos County, thank you so much. I'll give an honor to Mary Mutula to invite the DVC to speak to us.
Thank you very much. And just to also mention that we have some cards here. You know Mambo Coffee is in Susu Center. So if you get any of this card, you have a 10% discount from what you're going to buy. We are not going to select who we are going to give. Mwenye atanifikia wa kwanza, tutampatia. KCH 509, please fungua njia. And it's my honor and privilege to welcome the DVC. He's such a gentleman that is so down to earth. He's always welcoming. He's so kind. He's so educated, yet so humble. And being the last speaker, I know Machakos University has a lot for us. And I must recognize that Machakos University is so intentional in empowering the community around the university. DVC is such an honor to introduce you. Karibu sana sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone, or evening. Evening. So the first disclaimer is that I am not Professor Agalo. Our Vice Chancellor is a member of Machakos Girls. Those of you who know what that means, that includes the governor and many other leaders in this county are part of Machakos Girls. So it's a great privilege for me to be here to represent her. I want to thank Mary Mutula, our alumni, who has really done us proud. Bina, you've really inspired and challenged. I feel almost you should have been the last speaker so that we end on a high note. Edward, Mesh, and everyone else who's spoken, I really appreciate. There's a Nigerian proverb that if you throw a stone into a crowded marketplace, the first person you hit will most likely be your own relative. And I see some of my relatives from Machakos University here. So please receive greetings from up here. So with that said, I have a case of imposter syndrome because I'm representing a lady, and all I can say is that women hold up half the sky. The other half is held by? Oh goodness, what happened to men? I thought it was he plus she or she plus he. Okay, I'm humbled. Mesh, thank you for that update. Let me just stick to being in touch with my feminine side. So Machakos University, as you know, is the only public university in this county. And we are proud of the relationship we have with so many of you individually as well as institutions. As a public university, we received our charter in 2016. And presently, we have just under 12,000 students. So it's growing quite rapidly. And about 500 staff members, of whom I am one. So we have 6 schools. For those that are interested, you can visit our website, but that includes business, economics, hospitality, and tourism management. We have another school on education, another one on engineering and technology, which is part of our DNA since we were an TTI, those who know that we were once a technical training institute. Then we became Machakos University College as a constituent college of Kenyatta University. And in October 2016, we became a full-fledged university called Machakos University. We have environment, agriculture, and health sciences, humanities and social sciences, pure and applied sciences, and also a standalone graduate school for postgraduate studies, masters, and PhDs. So I want to speak to the young people because this, and I really thank Bina for contextualizing this conversation. There's no more potent force on this planet. I know in the universe God is ultimate, but on this planet we call Earth, and there's no planet B. Yeah? When you combine the energy of the youth with the wisdom of the elders, nothing can stop you. So we are here to say that we need to work together because there's something that the elders bring in terms of knowledge and wisdom, but the energy to transform society rests with our youth. So tap into that goodwill that the elders may have for you. That great potential that you have will help you lead in all spheres of life. And I think this has been said clearly. Leadership is not only when you stand here or when you have a position in management. Leadership means that you are making decisions that impact other people. So you don't need to stand and look behind you to see if there are people following you. You need to be a servant leader, and service is going to give you the platform to lead. Proverbs 31 speaks about the virtuous woman. I was looking for Proverbs 32 and I never found it. And I think there's a good reason why. The virtuous man is something that we can debate. Boy child, please forgive me. Today is about the ladies. So Proverbs 31 from verse 10 all the way to 30 talks about this virtuous woman. She's clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at days to come, meaning that she can deal with adversity. And Mheshimiwa's representative has reminded us about the power of women, even the power to co-create with the good Lord and bring life into this side of eternity. She speaks with wisdom. She is faithful in the instructions she offers with her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Mesh talked about how even when it comes to the amount of work done, women outstrip men many times over. That may be one of the reasons why we don't have Proverbs 32. Remember also that the power of self-discipline is going to get you very far. I think you've been reminded this afternoon, and Bina has done that very well. Self-discipline and self-mastery. Just disciplining yourself, your appetites, your vices, and even your potentialities, knowing who you are and how to harness that energy. Each of us is uniquely created. We're told that the Lord made each of us that we are, what? Fearfully and wonderfully made. So there's no one like you. We have 8 billion people. You are unique on this planet. No one has ever been you. No one will ever be you. You are unique, and you need to take that place. Remember that discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. This was said by Jim Rohn. So when you're disciplined, you bridge what you want to do with what you will actually achieve. So it's not just wishful thinking. Remember also that self-respect has certain values. One of them is worth, your self-worth. How much do you value yourself? Do you put yourself down even when other people can see your potential? Or do you embrace your potentiality and celebrate it? Each of us started somewhere, and I like what was said about mentorship. The Somalis have a proverb that be a mountain or lean on one. If you want to grow, look at someone who you want to be like, and not the celebrities as we've been cautioned, and connect with that person and see how you can also grow. And remember that we have also a concept of reverse mentors. I have reverse mentors. My reverse mentors are my students because they help me understand the generations behind me, which I may have lost touch with. So everyone can benefit from mentorship. So your worth, your value, your image, how you comport yourself, how you carry yourself is important because it shows your self-love, self-respect, and self-worth. Your character. And remember, character is what remains after reputation goes. Your reputation can change suddenly, isn't it? Someone may start a rumor outside and say, Mugendi is a money launderer, Mugendi is me. And by the time I reached Machakos University, there are people already telling me the story back. That is reputation. But character is immutable. It will not change just because of what people say. Okay? So protect your character because that is what remains after reputation has gone. And then have self-love. Okay? Love yourself so that you may be able to love others. Have a spirit of determination and a spirit of excellence. Remember, determination and perseverance are two characteristics that are necessary in any life. In fact, to make it to the top, and there's a beautiful image if I would be able to demonstrate it visually, imagine someone rolling a massive rock up a hill. So determination is what will get you to the top of that hill, like Kiema, which is in the vicinity of our institution, and some other 4 or 5 hills in the vicinity of Machakos. How do you get to the top of that hill? Even though gravity is an equal opportunity law, it affects all of us, except there's a place I've been told, which I wanted to visit yesterday, where that one, I have to visit that place because I've lived long enough to hear about it, and I have a few things I'm going to carry to put on the hill to see if they indeed roll upwards. So what we do, we need to determine what we want to achieve, and determination is about wanting something deeply enough. That is what it calls. If you want something with enough intensity and desire, the Lord has a way of giving you the desires of your heart. But remember, it must align also with what He believes is good for you. Because if you ask for something that will harm you, no matter how determined you are, unfortunately, that may not come to pass. And then let perseverance be the one that gets that determination to the point. Remember, you can choose to be either positive or negative. Do not surround yourself with negative people. They sap your energy. They will make you even lose confidence in your own dream. If you wake up with a dream and you know people who sap that dream, don't share it with them. Protect your dream because that dream is what will get you where you're going. So choose to be positive. Choose to be part of someone else's journey. Choose to bless others, and that blessing will come back. I really liked what Edward shared about his experience 10 years ago with Bina. He had no idea. So when you're positive and you bless others, guess what? That blessing is an investment for your own future blessing. So don't be mean in being generous with other people. And remember what Obama said when everyone thought it was impossible. Nelson Mandela said it always seems impossible until it is done. What did Obama do? And I like the fact that you met Obama. Bina, I want to see the selfies. I also want to rub off. Yeah. He said, yes, we can. Say that to yourself. Yes, I can. Because indeed you can. Choose to be positive and you will see what will happen. And then because we are educationists, you'll excuse me if I should give a shout out to one of the values that we need to embrace. Embrace education. It's a key to success. Embrace lifelong learning. Even if you're not in class, there's different ways in which you can learn. You can learn informally, you can learn formally, you can learn non-formally. Learn from your elders, learn from your friends, and emulate the things that you see that are good around you. And educate yourself, and that will contribute to self-improvement. Another key is hard work, which will lead to success. You need to also bring hard work with self-discipline. And remember that success is only possible when you overcome the natural tendency to cut corners. Embrace a spirit of excellence. Even if someone says, and I'm speaking now again, we've seen how people try to cheat in exams. Unfortunately, some of our leaders also have tried to fake degrees. Don't take shortcuts. They end up catching up with you and ruining your reputation, which ultimately impacts on your character. Open doors for others, even as doors open for you. There's opportunities everywhere if you just open your eyes and see. Never surrender your dream to noisy negatives. Remember that. Never surrender your dreams to noisy negatives. There are many. Shut them out and focus on what you know is possible. And nobody can look down on you without your permission. This is very important. You have to allow someone to look down on you. Otherwise, you hold your head up high. Like we said, you're 1 in 8 billion, in fact, in all eternity. And a journey of 1,000 miles starts with what? One step. Everything big starts with baby steps. And eventually you become that adult that you want to be. So success, as we said, has steps. What you can do from what you believe to actually eventually realizing it. And I'm very proud to say that as I conclude my message, that the real Professor Joyce Agallo has just landed. And I would actually ask Edward to invite her to come and say hi, even as I tell you about stress management. Stress management is very important. Manage this importantly. We have many intelligences. We have social intelligence, which is how you build social capital. You have IQ, which is born innately. You also have emotional intelligence, and this is how you handle things like frustration, stress, and related challenges. Learn this, and you'll be amazed at what you can do. And ultimately, prayer. Always submit everything to the Lord in prayer. Always believe that God is out there and is supporting you. He's on your side. It will unlock all kinds of possibilities. So with that said, and I'd like the real Vice Chancellor to come and say it herself, we wish you every success in your future as young people. And remember to be kind to your elders, because given time and opportunity, you will eventually get there. Okay, so treat us nicely. When you meet us on the way, just see me. Mugendi is Edward's future self, because he'll eventually get there. And for you, young people, each of you, you will eventually get there by the Lord's blessings and the opportunities that come. So Edward, can I request you kindly to invite our Vice Chancellor to come and really just say hi, since I've finished my... And that was on behalf of our Vice Chancellor. Thank you very much for your attention, and God bless you.
Let's appreciate the DVC better. I request we be upstanding as we welcome our chief guest to get into the event venue. before the VC speaks, we shall be just taking a few points of what you are taking home. I'll get maybe 5 responses from you, just saying what you've carried home. Tumpigie the VC makofi. Mpigie makofi mazuri. Thank you. Thank you. Asante sana. You can all get seated. Asante. When VC, when you came in, guys, if you can see some chairs in front of you, naomba tu safadhali usonge kwa hiyo kiti iko mbele yako. My request, if you can see any chair mbele yako, songa tu mbele kindly. So VC, when you came in, the DVC had just spoken. And what I'm taking home from his speech is that tusidharau wazee, because it's definitely going to catch up with us soon. Georges, I know you are a bit younger to me. Bwana asifiwe. So nipe heshima. Venye napea DVC, ukipita hii pande unapeana heshima. Sawa sawa?
Yes, sir.
Microphone imekataa God.
Ni vile unajua vile umesema I'm younger than you, sifai kuongea tena ukishaongea.
Thank you.
Heshima.
Asante. Thank you so much. VC, we've heard a number of speakers today. We've heard panel discussions on matters climate action, matters sexual reproductive health and rights, matters digital economy, and aspects of a bit of aspects of entrepreneurship, and so many other things that can support the growth of a woman in Machakos County. And the DVC has also read to us a speech, and how better could it be if it can as well come from you directly. And we are going, ungepiga makofi kwa yoma. Nyinyi ni kama hamukufika hiyo level yenye tulikuwa tunafundishwa. So VC, my request would be, VC, my request would be, yes. Did you just say Nyeri? Yes. Nyere? Yes. Uko? Yes. Na amefika hapa? Yes. Na huyo ni VC. VC mzima. Na wewe tu mtu tu hapa kama Edward, unatuharakisha mbio. Hebu ambia jirani wacha hiyo. Mwambie the VC is in the house, so be patient. We need to harvest the information she has. So VC, I was requesting if we could just hear from some of the participants. Maybe we can pick around 5 of them to just tell us what they've picked from this session. And then you will say, you will give us your remarks. And then of course, tutaombewa na muombi wetu wa siku. And then we shall call it a day. So I want to request, if by any chance think this summit has been important to you as a young lady or as a woman or as a young man, just raise up your hand. Kama unaamini ya kwamba kongamano hili limekuwa la dhamana kwako, naomba uinue mkono. Asante, kumbe nilifanya Kiswahili. I should be a vice chancellor as well. Anyway, guys, anyone who would want to volunteer and just give us what they are taking home. And our rapporteur, I hope you're ready to keep up, to pick up those points. Huh? Anyone who wants to just say something that they are taking home. Kitu yenye, Samora, Samora come. Claudia, mbona ni watu wamevaa tu yellow ndo wanakuja huku? Yes, Miss Machakos University. Lazima ungeongea mbele ya VC. Kama si hivyo ungechoma. Yes, we have my sister at the back. Please come. Yes. Yes, please come. You'll each get a minute. Ukienda past a minute, I'll cut you short. Yes. Nitaomba tusimamie hapo. Georges, wewe hakuna kitu umelani. As in Georges the whole day. Sasa umetengeneza mumeharibu. Hapo hivyo, unajua, Georges understands. I told you respect your seniors. You understand? You need to make sure your senior is comfortable. Anyway, how many are we? 1, 2, 3, 4. So each of you, and you know you are sharing a podium with people like us and the VC. You understand? So you'll just come. You tell us your name, maybe where you come from, and what you've picked from this summit. Karibu sana.
Okay, my name is Faith Salilan. My name is Faith Salilan. Yeah, good evening. Yeah, I've learned much here, and I want to thank you, those who have organized this meeting or this summit. What I've picked here is that you have to have high self-esteem of yourself. You have to know that you can do anything despite of what people say. You can. Even me, I can. Yeah.
Even me, I can. Hiyo kizungu ni ya Machakos University hiyo. VC kuongelea Machakos University si ya bure. You understand? Karibu sana. The next speaker.
All protocols observed. Good evening. My name is Victoria Mwangi. I'm a clinical officer from Nakuru PGH, and I'm also a model from Miss Independent Kenya. What I've learned today is that, just as Bina has said, the office that is most important is the office of the citizen. So I'll kindly take my place. Thank you so much.
Hizi zilikuwa zinasemwa nikiwa wapi? Karibu sana.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm Purity Wambua. Just completed my 4th year from Moi University, community developer. Yeah, I've learned a lot from this summit, and most important, I've learned that you don't have to gather maybe the big people, the politicians, or whichever kind of person for you to realize who you are. Change starts with you. You are the change. You have to rise up from where you are and start to wake up. Yeah, together we rise. Thank you.
When she was talking, alikuwa anajaribu kufanya hivi, nikakumbuka Wavinya Ndeti. But anyway, karibu sana. Change begins with you. Me, you can change yourself. Sindio? Let us change our mentality. Let us change every other things around us first before we even think about changing the community. Karibu sana.
All protocols observed. Good evening. My name is Claudia Nyanchama Masioge. I'm a 4th-year student at Machakos University, and I happen to participate at the 18 to 25 range, and what I learned is that use your head, tumia akili. Thank you.
Use your head. And for those people who are in this particular hall, I know you missed that out. One other thing that stood out was, do not show us what God alificha. I don't know if that is coming your way. I don't know how that is, but we were told, jaribu as much as you can. Zile vitu zenye Mungu alificha akaweka huko nyuma nyuma, wapi wapi, usituonyeshe, wachana nazo kwenye Mungu aliziwe. I hope girls you picked that. Karibu sana.
Good evening. So my name is Mira Mwangi. I am a student. I've just cleared from Machakos University. Our Vice Chancellor, thank you so much for the humility. We are learning so much from you. And to my audience, there is one thing I have learned this morning, that our God is a God of purpose. So let us aim to also be purposeful, and let us blossom in our purpose. I've also learned from Professor Mugendi, who is my patron in the modeling section. Thank you so much. The power of connections, the power of self-mastery, and the power of discipline. Thank you so much.
Prof patron or modeling, immediately after this place you'll come and do a catwalk. Huh? Karibu sana.
Good evening. My name is Samora from Wangondi Foundation, and two things that I take home today is the citizen's office is the biggest office, and the other thing that I take home is your network is equals your net worth. That is something Edward has said. Thank you.
Waras pia uongea kizungu. I hope you guys are enjoying the session. Thank you so much. Mary Mutula, kindly just come. You know, you brought us all here, and you also need to tell us whether there's something you've picked from this summit.
I've been asked a very important question, and if I get it wrong, that means that being the main organizer of this, I was sleeping on my job. One thing that I've noticed today is people is power. And when people come together, great things happen. Prof, today I knew the power of social media, the power of believing in yourself, being confident. At some point, the seats that you see outside were full of people. And I even went to Mumbi and asked her, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because it was overwhelming. And that just shows how the community is so intentional in attending activities or summits that will build themselves and even the future. So my take home today is, as young people, we can bring the change you want to bring in this community. Thank you.
You can be the change you want in this particular community. Alaika, what have you picked? Waziri, you've missed out on so many things today. We are just trying to mention some of the things we've picked from this summit, and our rapporteur is capturing every bit of that, so that when we'll be sharing the reports, these are the feedbacks that will be in that report. And of course, we'll be sharing these reports with your office, of course, the office of the VC, and each and every other partner that has contributed to making sure that this event is a big success. Karibu sana.
Good evening. My name is Felista Mule. I'm the chairperson, the Alaika group. What I've learned is that we should, as youth, we should start something in the community. Like we've done as the Alaika group. We started something really small from the resources that we have and others that we've gotten from the national government and the county government. And now we've been able, to get our position to be here today through Tuboreshe Pamoja. And I believe that when you have something, you get more. It is even written in the Bible that if you do have something, then other people are going to add you more. And if you don't have something, or you have, I'm losing my voice, I'm so sorry. if you have something small and you're not doing something to get more, then even that little that you have is going to be taken away. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm losing my voice. I'm sorry. Thank you so much.
You must be very excited. Thank you. We could have picked as many feedbacks as possible, but you know we respect the weather and things may change anytime. And we wouldn't wish tusikie mara kumsichana hakufika nyumbani kwa sababu kulinyesha sana akajipata kwa Kamau venye tuliambiwa hapa. You know, youths are very funny. Youths can just decide and say mvua ilinyesha na nikajipata kwa Kamau, and there's nothing you can do about it. So for us to avoid all that, I wish to request Waziri ukuje utusalimie tena, then utualikie the VC for the closing remarks. Karibu sana Waziri. Tupigie waziri wetu wa youth makofi tafadhali. And as Waziri comes, the lady at the back, Majina jaribu tu kuingia hivi. Majina Mwasezi, songa tu karibu. That lady happens to be one of the board members wa Tuboreshe, and we appreciate you as our board member. Karibu sana Waziri.
All right, thank you very much, Edward. I was here in the morning with, I think, most of you when we opened the session. Unfortunately, I had to rush for a burial to represent Her Excellency. So I missed the, the session, the Q&A and the discussion. How was it? It went well, eh? Okay, great. I guess from the look in your faces, I'm hoping that we've learned very many things today. So I have one message for you. I've got a brother who lives in the US, and Americans are very flamboyant and very aggressive and all those things. They're go-getters, basically. So there's something he used to tell me some time back, which I want us to adopt here. Go hard or go home. Are we going home? Absolutely not. We're going hard. There are no two ways about it. So by the time we meet next year around this time, for another session, we'll now need to look back and find out how hard did we go. Are we in agreement? And that is successes, basically. So start tracking yourself. We're going hard. Personally, I'm not going home. Are we in agreement? Yes. Go hard or go home. Thank you very much. With those few remarks for closing, let me welcome the VC for Machakos University. Unfortunately, we missed you in the morning. They had mentioned you'd be around. I'm sure you must have had a long day. So karibu sana. And thank you for the interactions and the various initiatives you've had with Jiboreshe and also around Machakos town with the youth. We actually need to look for you. We'll look for you. We need to deepen the conversation. I think there's opportunities and things that we can do together. And I'm sure Her Excellency at some point will also want to have a proper sit down where we draw a good roadmap of how we're going to empower the she's. While behind the tent, I'll be working on the he's to make sure we all move together. So karibu sana, Professor. Asante. What?
So, Mr. Waziri, all the organizers of this function, my team from Machakos University, I'd like to appreciate the DVC and the other members of staff who have been here. Good evening. Good evening once more. I'm just excited to be here this evening with you. I would have loved to be here since morning. I really tried to come. We've really tried to race, but all that was possible is that we were able to arrive at this time. But God's plans are also perfect. You know, it just goes to demonstrate that, especially at Machakos University, we say he and she. So when she is not there, he is there. And I'm sure he has delivered the message perfectly, isn't it? Great. So mine is just to encourage you, to tell you that God has a purpose for bringing you to this world. Your voice matters. Your contribution matters. So don't say my contribution is too small or my voice is not loud enough for us to be able to contribute in whatever aspects of our lives. We have said that we lead, the she leader, and you need to unleash that leadership in you. Whether you are at home, whether you are at school, whether you are, wherever you are, just be able to open up and ensure that the potential that God gave to you, you need to be able to use it. I think she's just mentioned about the talents, that those, you've been given talents, and God has given us talents in proportion to also the potential that He's given us, so that at the end of the day, some have more and they will contribute more, some have less and they will contribute little, but so long as you are contributing to the best of your ability, then that is what God really appreciates, and that is what God brings us for a purpose here. I would like to say we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Are we? Yes. How many believe that? Great, great, great. So, what happens is that you are God's creation, and we have said God had a purpose for you. God has a purpose for you even to be in this room today, for you to get the message that you have got so that you are fired to be able to move forward. The youth is our treasure, and you are the next generation. You are the ones that are now transiting to that generation, so that you need to build on where our generation have left, and you need to ensure that you're bringing in more prosperity, making your family better than you found it. I think there is the saying that, why don't we make a little heaven down here? And it is you who will make that little heaven down here. If you're looking at somebody and saying, I admire so-and-so, for example, and maybe I would like to be like so-and-so, it is the fire within you that needs to really come out, so that you bring out that potential that is in you. Don't let it just remain there. And don't let it be a burning desire in you that probably I could change 1, 2, 3. But the little contribution that you have should be able to contribute and should be able to take us all together. The little contributions that we have, small, will be able to take us very far. As Machakos County, the youth that we have in Machakos County, you are the treasure of this county. And we don't want to see you going probably wherever you are. In Machakos University, I have 11,000, actually going to 12,000 youth. That is a real dynamite. And if we can be able to come out and release the potential that each one of us has, we have, as we've said, we have a talent. Those of us who can sing, those of us who can innovate, those of us who can do various aspects. If each one of us contributes in that way, then we will make Machakos County a great county and Kenya a great country. So let us, you see, I always say that it is upon us, it's up to us to move or change the situation in which we are in. Most of us have been given an education. That is a key that you will use to unlock so many possibilities. So don't hold that key or throw that key away with things that are going to they call them noise, that are going to distract you from the destiny in which you're going to. So it is important that you focus. Don't get into activities or things that will derail you from the path that you would like to take, or the path that even these leaders are guiding you to. These leaders are, there is a purpose why these leaders think that the youth are important, for you to have a full day with them and organized speakers that have come, the various speakers that have come today. We also think, and I particularly think, that you are very important to carry our legacy as a generation, and even each one of us for our families. You are the ones that are going to change the story of your families. Each one of you has a story, and each one of you has a role to play. So ensure that even if you may feel that maybe I'm challenged here and there, you've been told there are networks. There are those that you can be able to, the social capital you can be able to take up. And together, when we hold hands, like now in this forum, if all of us decide that this is probably a project that we would want to work on, I'm sure that we will be able to achieve, especially when we purpose it, when we set a target, and when we ensure that we have the timelines, that we will ensure that we have a goal, and that is where we are moving to, and that is what we would want to achieve at the end of the day. So, especially for the youth, you have time, you have energy, you have almost, you don't have many responsibilities. So what you need to do is ensure that you're utilizing that time very well. Let me tell you, like during our time, we did not have the resources that you have. We didn't have the social media, for example. We didn't have the various networks. We didn't even have people organizing just to think that we needed to even let you meet and talk and even express yourselves. We were supposed to be at the back all the time, and just, we were being told, you are the leaders of the future. But that leadership of the future begins today. And it begins with you, even at home. When you are left at home, for example, do you take up responsibilities? Do you deliver? Or mama akitoka, baba akitoka, hata wewe naye unatoka? Is that what happens? Or is it that when you've been given tasks to perform, you would begin to say, I'm not able, I can't, this and the other? I think it's extremely important that you know that actually it is you, me, myself, who will change my situation, who will change the situation of my family, who will change the situation of my county. And it is good also to know that you are responsible and you are accountable for the life that God has given you, so that you don't waste your youth. Your youthful years are the years that you have the energy to be able to do so many things. So we would like to encourage all our youth to know that even if you don't probably have a place where you're working, especially those who have completed college, why don't you volunteer somewhere? Take up some responsibility. I'm sure at the end of the day, you will be appreciated for what you will have done, and you will make a change. And every small change, when we add the changes of the people that are present here, we will be able to make a very big change that is going to be noticeable. I can see that part of our goals is to have good health and well-being, quality education, gender equity, and then decent work and growth and economic growth. Those ones are not just going to come on a silver plate. We have to work for them. We have to get out and be able to I think you've been told you need to be the go-getter. Don't just sit and wait for people to do things for you. When you look at the people who are where they are, they did not just sit and things came on a silver plate. They don't come. You have to work for it. You have to all the time ensure that you are trying to be better today than you were yesterday, bit by bit, and you will be able to reach where you are. Each one of us can be able to get to exactly where you want to be if you work on it slowly and build on it. So the good thing also is that for you, you need to start picturing where you want to go. that imagination will actually lead you to where you want to go. So don't sit and say, I am not able to, I am not this, I am not the other. They say in Genesis, how did God form everything that is on the earth? It is through the power of the word. So that word, whatever you say, will actually happen to you. So let us not be the type that has a negative attitude, the type that is complaining all the time, saying, we don't have one, we don't have this, we don't have the other. There is great potential. And even in Machakos here, I know that probably we say that the land is dry and all that. One time, I think we went with some of my members, my team from Machakos University. We went to see the second lady. And you see, she was telling us that there's some people from one of the counties who came, and they were complaining that we have so many stones that are disturbing us along our place. You know, we cannot do much because our place is so rocky and all that. And you know what she told them? Iyo mawe ndio pesa. Mkiokota lori mzima tan mzima, si umepata pesa? So why are you complaining that there are stones instead of thanking God that they are there for you to be able to utilize them? So what I'm trying to say is that look at the environment in which you are. There is something important, there is something God has placed there for you to be able to utilize. And you can only open up your eyes and see it and utilize it for you to be able to move forward or for your dream to be realized. We have said that our dreams are valid. And with those dreams, we are going to be able to make big things, move big things in our county and also in our lives, in our own homes. It begins with our little things that we do in our own homes, then it enlarges into the society and the country at large. All of us whom you are seeing us here, we did not just drop and, I did not drop and become a VC. It is true. We had to either work, you had to go through so many challenges to overcome those challenges, and slowly by slowly you move to where you are. So it is important that, I think one of the challenges the youth have these days is that you want things right now and immediately. Unataka kuendesha hiyo muzo, or whatever it is called, immediately. You want to get out of school and you have a very beautiful house that you're going to live in. You want to get out of school and I don't know, you have something else there. It does not happen like that. So it is important that you learn to get the reality within, and then from there, work towards achieving what you want. So that if you want, for example, to travel to various countries, it is that education that gives you that. But it is also your perseverance, it is also your determination that will be able to take you to wherever you want to go. So my closing remark is that you can be able to be, or you can be what you want to be. And how can you be able to be what you want to be? It is to take action today. Start taking action and working on the little things today. Have a picture of where you want to go. That big house, traveling to various countries, being the governor, being waziri, being a vice chancellor, being whoever you want to be. Imagine and pick that, and then from there, work slowly by slowly. What do I need to become this? Then every day, you keep on putting into that basket. And within a year or so, you will see a difference. Within 5 years or so, you will actually see the difference that is going to be there. So mine is to tell you that you have the great potential. The ball lies in your court. Iyo mpira ikikuja hapo, usipoipiga haitaingia kwa goal. Okay? So it is you to ensure that you have kicked that ball and kick it in the right direction where you would like it to go. Because if you kick it elsewhere, haitaingia your goal. So make sure that you have planned where your goal is and make sure that you're kicking that ball to the right direction. So with those few remarks, I know my DVC has already presented what I had wanted to say, and I'm sure he ably presented. Yes, can we give him a clap? Thank you. And that is also the power of networking. Because, and the power of trust. If you have colleagues, if you have friends, if you have people whom you can be able to trust to undertake your task. I just sent the presentation and I told him, please take over. Yes. And I'm very proud to have such a team from Machakos University. Maybe I can let the Machakos University team stand. Including my beautiful lady who graduated the other day. Can we give her a clap? Yes. You can see even we have a Miss Beauty somewhere. Si atatupeleka hata mpaka tukue Miss World. Yes. I have a great team. And if they can even tell you, you can hear what they are saying. There are some are CPA, some are legal, some are, these professors, some are the other. These are the team that are going to, even our alumni, can they also put up their hands? Yes, yes, yes. Yes. So these are the people already who can be able to link you with networks. Please take a seat. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you, because our alumni is our support, and we also support our alumni wherever we are. So wherever you are, if you have any function, if you have any activity, as Machakos University, we will be able to work with you as our alumni, and we want to bring the county, and that is part of the reason. We want to make an impact in the county. We have the youth with us, but also, they say, bloom where you are planted. So as Machakos University, we've been planted in Machakos County. So as an institution, we would want to bloom here. And we can only bloom by contributing to the county, contributing to the youth, contributing to the livelihoods of the entire population, actually enhancing the livelihoods of the people in Machakos University, Machakos County. So we are happy as Machakos to contribute to the county. In whatever way we are able to contribute, we will contribute. And for me, I would like us to all have a brighter future at the end of the day. And that's where we are all going. So that team that we have, and that's why we have said we'll come here in a big way, and we'll continue working together to see that the youth in the county, I get saddened when I see some of the activities that our youth engage in and the time that they take in those activities. It would be good. Forums like this build you, and they encourage you, they motivate you, so that by the time we are coming next year again, we will come and account. I hope you gave them tasks to be able to do, so that when they come next year, they will have something to account to say, I did this or I moved from this and this. The impact of this forum, this summit, has had this in my life in one way or another, so that we can be able now to see how we can build on, even as we continue with other activities that we have. So with the county, we are very happy that we are having this collaboration, and also at the university, we have a number of facilities which we are sharing with the county. And we had agreed that the youth can be able to use some of the labs, the ICT labs that we have in the institution, so long as we plan and see when that can happen. And we have talent in our institutions. I've said there is a CPA here. We can be taught financial management. Ama hatutaki hiyo? Yes. So that we know how to manage even the little resources that you have. Let me tell you, saving, if you keep on saving kidogo kidogo, within a short while, you will be able to do something big with whatever little money you have. Ukipewa ile pesa yenye unaenda kula lunch, kama umepewa 20 shillings ya kula lunch, chikaze na ukule 15, weka 5. That way, you will be able to build, so that you don't just use everything, but have a saving culture. And the only way we can do is if we can partner together so that we can get the expertise. We have our legal officer here. Ni shida gani yenye tuko nayo yenye issues that require legal attention? Our rights. Na mmesikia leo mmesema something about which you have, I am sure part of it is what you were taught. So it is good that we have a lot of talent in Machakos University. We have a lot of expertise. So as a county, we are saying you can make use of the institution. If we partner together, then we can be able to enlighten our communities. Even in agriculture, we have experts in agriculture, where we are saying we would want to do what is called smart agriculture, where we can have food on the table for ourselves and for our families. So I think it is important that we all work together, and I'm happy that you're here with us, and we will be able to continue that exercise of working together. So I would like to really appreciate Madam Mary for this forum and all the the teams that have been able to organize this forum. I'd like to thank my team from Machakos University for participating also. And Waziri and your team also, we really appreciate for giving us this opportunity and giving us the space to be here with us. So with those few remarks, again, I would like to apologize. I don't usually go to places late. And once I've committed, I usually like to fulfill what I have, the promise I have given. It's only that I really got held up. But I'm here with you, and God willing, next year we will be together. So with those few remarks, I would like to now officially close our summit and wish you God's blessings wherever you go. And please, if you can take nothing else from this place, just say, I will bloom wherever I am planted. I will bloom wherever I am planted. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Madam VC. Unaweza simama tu hapa. Waziri, please join in. And DVC, karibu. A representative from Shofco, karibu. I'd wish we take Mary, Executive Director, Tuboreshe, karibu sana. Waheshimiwa kwa hii meza kuu, karibuni sana. I'd wish we take a photo, Honorable Angela Munyasia. I wish tuweze kupiga picha hapa nyuma so that we can always remember about this amazing summit that we have had. Someone to help us move this podium. The photographers, mutupange vizuri. The people who are using Technos, the people who are using Samsung, you can also take photos. Watu wa iPhone, please forgive us. Don't take the photos today. Thank you. The same team will also take photos outside kwa ile bana. But we need to close with a word of prayer before we leave. So nitamkaribisha Madam Mumbi atuombe.
Good evening. I want to give a disclaimer. I'm not by any standard a preacher or a minister. The only thing I'm aspiring to be is an ambassador, kwa hivyo muniombe. Na kwa hayo machache, I will read from the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 27 and 28. You know, the beauty of God is that everything that we have done today, we did not start here. It began at the beginning. When we talk about inclusivity, when we talk about climate change, when we talk about all these things that we have discussed today, it is in the Bible. And I call the Bible the basic instructions before leaving earth. So if you're here, whether Muslim, whether Christian, whatever denomination you come from, please, it will be a fundamental, catastrophic problem to get to heaven and your master asks you, I gave you the basic instructions before leaving earth. Did you read? And you say no. And you start blaming your creator for making mistakes that he had already given you signs. So this is what it says. God spoke, let us make human beings in our image, make them reflecting our nature, so they can be responsible for the fish in the sea, the birds in the air, the cattle, and yes, earth itself, and every animal that moves on the face of earth. God created human beings. He created them godlike. Reflecting God's nature, He created them male and female. God blessed them, prosper, reproduce, fill the earth, take charge, be responsible for fish in the sea and birds in the air, for everything, for every living thing that moves on the face of the earth. Let us pray. Our most precious Heavenly Father, Creator of heaven and earth, we come humbled in your presence this evening, and we thank you, God, and we marvel at what a wonderful God you are. For indeed you say in your word that you not only knew us before we were formed in our mother's wombs, you also called us out and you named us there. So there is nothing that we do in this world that is an accident by you, Father. It is ordained and purposed of you. For indeed, Jehovah, you say in Jeremiah 29:11 that you have nothing but good plans for each one of us represented today, and plans to prosper us, Father, and not to harm us. For everything that has been discussed today when this forum began, Jehovah, we called upon your blessings, we called upon your mercy, we called upon your covering, Jehovah, we called upon the participants, and also the people who had come here to listen to the participants. And Jehovah, we come back to you like that one leper that you healed to say thank you. Thank you for giving us that grace. Thank you for giving us unity of purpose. Thank you for everyone who has been here. Thank you for the people who have facilitated this. In a special way, Jehovah, I pray for Mary Mutula and Tuboreshe. Thank you for giving them that seed and planting it, Father, that they can have this forum that is clearly ordained of you, Father, and within your scriptures as we have read in Genesis chapter 1. Jehovah, for everything that we have done, we say thank you. As we come to the end of this process, Father, and the end of this summit, we say may all glory and honor be unto you, for we are mortal beings. You are the same yesterday, today, and forever. You are Alpha and Omega. Father, you know us very well, and we do not want to take that glory. We say all glory and honor belongs to you. As we go home to our respective places, may we find our families that we left there, each one of us safe. And Father, as those ones who are traveling by road, Father, and those ones who are walking, Jehovah, we pray for the roads, Father, that they may go home safely. We know there are floods, Father, and heavy rains. May you take care of them. If there is anything the devil has waylaid, we stand in the gap of faith and we say, may it be defeated in Jesus' name. If it is your will that we get home, may we be careful to thank you. We pray for the county, Father. We pray for Her Excellency Wavinya Ndeti, Father, as she continues to steer this county, Father, and all the female leaders and also the male leaders in this county, and all institutions represented here in Jehovah. We pray for good health for her and good health for everyone represented here. And we give you all glory and honor, and we believe, Father, and we say, you are Alpha and Omega. You are the Rose of Sharon. You are the Lily of the Valley, Jehovah, and you are the King of Judah. May you receive all glory and honor. We pray all this believing and trusting in that holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Of our Lord Jesus Christ, and the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. The VC, Waziri, and the entire team that took photos here, kindly tuende hapo nje tupige picha kwa our media